Today we are going to be making our own seed paper. With the materials we're going to need seeds, parchment paper, construction paper, water, a rolling pin, a jar or a can, scissors, a container, and a dish towel. Alright, and here I have all the materials I'm going to use today. I've got my container ready. I have the warm water ready in a measuring cup, my wildflower seeds, and then I have 3 pieces of construction paper. And also some parchment paper that we're going to use. And scissors can also be optional for our friends who are just learning how to use scissors. And we're also going to use a rolling pin, but you can also use a can or a cylindrical jar. With all of my materials ready, I'm going to begin. All right, and to begin, we are going to get our container at the ready. I'm just going to place it in front of me there. Then I'm going to get our construction papers, and then we can grab our scissors, but this is optional because we have little ones who aren't quite ready to use scissors yet. And that's okay because we can also rip our sheets of paper to begin practicing. With the scissors, we are just going to cut up some small bits. You can cut them up into any shape. We just want to make them smaller bits so that we can mix it up and add our seeds to it later. And we can continue ripping and tearing and cutting our pieces of paper until they are smaller and added to the bowl. In your kit, you are going to find that you have 6 pieces of construction paper. That is so you can make seed paper at a different time if you'd like. Or if you just like to create a whole bunch of seed paper all at once. Then we keep cutting and ripping until all of our paper is finished. Now that your paper has been successfully ripped and shredded into small pieces, we are going to bring out our water. I made mine warm water just because I think it would help soak in more. So I'm going to take it and just cover the construction paper and make sure that all of the pieces are soaked. Then I'm just going to use my fingertips to nudge the paper underneath the water. And once all of the pieces are covered, we are then going to let it soak for half an hour or 30 minutes. And after about 30 minutes, we have our soaked construction paper ready to be ripped and torn just a little bit more. After the paper has soaked, it's going to be more soft and easier to break apart. So we're going to take our fingers, or if you'd like, you can use a blender and just pulse the paper inside until it becomes a pulp. So I'm going to use my hands just by ripping up the pieces and squishing it together and just trying to make my paper smaller and more pulpy. And after I have ripped it up to the best of my ability and we have some paper pulp, I'm going to drain out the excess water using the lid of the container, and I'm going to place that gently over top, but I'm going to place a paper towel in between, and this is going to help catch any of the paper pulp and prevent it from leaking out. And this is where I'm going to bring out my dish towel. And once I've drained out most of the water, I'm going to keep some of the water in there just to help me when we're pressing our paper together. And this paper towel that we used, I am just going to add it into the bowl and rip it up as much as I can, just like the paper. And once we've successfully added our shredded paper towel to the pulp, I am going to get the wildflower seeds we're going to be using. Then we're going to get ready to add our seeds to the bowl. But I noticed I had a little bit more extra water than I thought I would need in the bowl. So I went ahead and dumped out just a little bit more. So now I have less water, just enough so that it can squeeze together. Once the pulp is ready, you can add about half a teaspoon to 1 teaspoon of seeds to your mixture. These seeds were a bit of a surprise to me because I had never seen seeds look this color before. So I thought it was really cool. And we're just taking our hands and gently mixing the seeds and the pulp together. And this is what I have after mixing everything. Can you see the little seeds? All right. And after we have our mixture, I am going to get the towel ready and bring out our parchment paper next. And then what we're going to do is divide our parchment in half just by folding, or if you'd like, you can cut it in half as well. And then we're going to place our shapes, our paper pulp, on one half of the parchment. And you can create any shape you'd like. I'm trying to make different kinds of shapes. Here I'm trying to make a heart, but you can also try and make a star or a square, or maybe an oval, or maybe you can create a flower shape. And you can keep using your hands and fingers to manipulate and shape the pulp. Or if you have cookie cutters, they can help you out too. Once you have some shapes ready and they are adjusted and in place, I'm going to gently fold over the parchment over top. Then I'm going to take my towel and just fold it over the top and start pressing down on the paper to try and just squeeze some excess water out before we use our rolling pin. And now I'm just adjusting my towel and my parchment. For the parchment, we want to make sure we're rolling it towards an open edge of the parchment, so the folded end will be facing you. And when we roll the pin, we're going to do it slowly and gently, but also firmly. Firm enough to squeeze the water out of the paper. And when you first roll it, it is going to shift your shapes just a little bit. But what I did is I gently peeled back the parchment. And I'm just using my fingers to gently push the pulp back in place, back into its original shape. And it's still damp enough and still soft enough for you to move easily. And after we fix our shapes, we're going to take our rolling pin and just go over them another time. Again, pressing firmly, but moving steady, so that we don't shift our shapes too much. After going over a few more times, I'm going to gently peel back the parchment once again. Then I'm going to take one last look at my shapes, and we'll let our seed paper dry overnight. And after a night of drying out, we have some plantable seed paper. I think they turned out really swell. And now where to plant them? We can plant them in the soil about 1.5 inches into the ground. And with sunlight and water, we'll soon have some beautiful wildflowers to enjoy. Bamapi, my friends.